Sign language users of Reddit, what kinds of wordplay jokes exist in sign language, and what are your favorites? In New Zealand sign language, the sign for stalker literally looks like one finger is stalking another. Hold up both index fingers and creep one towards the other. The sign for married is putting a ring on, and divorce is pulling the ring back off and throwing it on the ground. The old ASL sign for Texas was literally waving finger guns. That was updated recently. The sign for Shakespeare is the sign for spear, a hand, elevated, holding the imaginary shaft of a spear, then vigorously shaken. British Sign Language, some of my favorites. Not a regular user by any means, but took it for my language credit in college. I found it absolutely hilarious that the sign for Colorado is simply the sign for color followed by fingers pulling ADO. Efficient. In Texas, the sign for El Paso is one hand making the sign for L, and one hand making the sign for O, and then frantically waving them past each other. Well, IDK if this counts, but some deaf people love to tell non-ASL users that forming a triangle with your thumbs and pointer fingers means pizza. It doesn't mean pizza, it means vagina. You can imagine the hilarity that ensues. The joke sign for underwear, it's the sign for wear signed in the same location as the dominant hand in the sign for under. Edit. Another one is signing yellow, and then the sign / classifier for flood going up your face to your eye. I'm not sure if this is a conventional sign, but my grandmother signed Starbucks by making a fist and doing circles on the inside of her elbow. She does this because the sign for coffee is two fists one above the other doing opposing concentric circles, like you are grinding coffee, and the sign for drugs is making a fist and pounding the inside of your elbow, like you are shooting up. She combines the two because she says she's addicted to Starbucks. My favorite is microwave. Take your pinky and flex it up and down. It's a microwave. So cute. Edit. Thank you kind strangers for the silver. My husband, also an interpreter, wanted me to add this one to the list. Understand? Take a two-hand shape or peace sign, stand it on top of your other hand's flat palm and turn it upside down. The sign for Facebook is just the sign of book on your face. Like you're opening your face. You know. My hard of hearing partner informed me that stroking your neck to chest means you're hungry. However, doing it more than once means you're horny. So when I do it, she asks if I meant I'm really hungry or if I'm horny. The correct answer is yes. One of the namesins for a local cafeteria is similar to the sign for vomiting. Very accurate sign too. Only thing I'm getting is that deaf people must rock at charades. A great longtime friend of mine since kindergarten has a deaf/HH family. His parents are hearing and have been teachers at the state deaf school a very long time. Ironically, they taught my wife's family ASL, as my wife has a deaf sister. Then my wife and I met, and I knew a little ASL already. That is my Kevin Bacon part of this story. The best one we have is that my friend's dad, Mr. W, when he first met the parents of a deaf girl he was dating, tried to sign nice to meet you to the mother, but instead of using one index finger on each hand, used two fingers on each, indicating something perceived as nice to have foursome with you. The mom turned red. The girl turned white. Ha. Currently taking ASL. It's pretty easy to call someone a B****ch. 4 fingers open against your chin means speak. Fingers together to chin means B****ch. Teacher told a story of being at the ATM machine when a hooded man came up, pulled out a gun, and started telling him things to do. Teacher has $1,000 in hand, but looks at him in wonder, mouthing and pointing at his ears, "I'm deaf, I'm deaf." The robber looked at him confused and ran away empty-handed. I hate this one for laughing at it so much. Baby equals cradling in your arms back and forth. Garbage equals pretending to pick something out and nonchalantly throw it out. Combined to make abortion. Calling someone shy and calling them a prostitute is very similar. Sign milk over and over and move it past your eyes. Pasteurized milk. Sign stand. Flip it upside down. Understand? Sign milkshake by making a fist away from your body and move your wrist up and down. Sign masturbate by making a fist towards your body and move your wrist up and down. Okay, so I'm not a sign language speaker, but BSL, British Sign Language, has an interesting thing that I noticed. The sign for London and the sign for crazy are asterisk very asterisk similar. ASL jokes are really clever. I'll try to transcribe my favorite one I learned. Keep in mind that it's told in sign language. My best attempt at transcribing the signs are in parents. A deaf giant is walking around and sees a woman, touches thumb to mouth. He picks her up and puts her in the palm of his hand. He looks at her and says you're beautiful, moves hand in a circular motion around face. I love you. Mashes palms together and smears them circularly. He looks down at the smushed remains of the woman in his hands, grimace a sad face. I'm not very proficient in ASL, but I got my instructor to crack up pretty hard when I signed brown turtle to indicate my need to have a bathroom break. Hide and turtle are very similar. When I was quite young I was also very shy. Would hide behind my dad's leg and he would sort of jokingly or affectionately sign to me something like, "Are you hiding, little turtle?" by beginning with the sign for hide and changing it to turtle at the last second. Kinda hard to explain in English, but easily understandable as a bit of a pun in ASL. Not exactly wordplay, and not sure how widely used these are, but when my now wife took an ASL class as an undergrad, she was taught that famous people are often referenced in ASL using shorthand, punny, related to why they were famous. Ike. The shorthand for President Kennedy was the hand sign for the letter K being tapped against the skull, recalling his assassination, and the shorthand for President Clinton was the hand sign for the letter C being moved suggestively in the crotchal region, recalling his Oval Office blowy. There's some things that are based of rhymes or things sounding alike. Scone being signed the same as cone, because they rhyme. Sometimes. Torquay being tiki. Bristol is signed like a downwards gun. Bristol like pistol. My favorite though is taboo and old signs. Some are just outdated, like a TV sign representing the shape of the aerial, when TVs don't have big aerials on top anymore. These are used by older people, or in some older books. But some of them are just plain offensive. You can use them with mates, but shouldn't be used in a formal setting. Chinese is sometimes signed as pulling your eyes into a squint. Australia is picking a item up and dropping it elsewhere. But my favorite in Germany. Now you have to understand that deaf people are quite blunt. If you have big tits, your sign name with be big tits. It's how they are. And they don't really understand offensive sometimes. And so the old sign for Germany is using two fingers to form a mustache and raising the other hand straight in the air in a salute. This is not okay in polite company. My brother has requested I stick to teaching his children Christmas songs in BSL. I was at a local social and met this guy named Bob, and his name sign is a B with both hands held on each side of a wide open mouth for the O. I started learning ASL and it just so happened that my niece had already learned some. She helped me out with some words that I hadn't picked up on yet. So now some of our favorite phrases to each other are sexy daddy and mosquito milk. Edit. Some if you are concerned. Rightfully so. My niece is 17 and I'm her 30-year-old aunt. It's done in a joking manner. Sign for a nosy person. Classifier. C shape away from the nose, like showing how Pinocchio's nose grows when he lies. Point to the nosy person. Follow the movement of their nose with the hand you used to classify the sign. Means their nose is all up in your business. My dad, who is a sign language interpreter, said put your hand flat out in front of you and make the sign for where under it. In Japanese sign language, to say older brother, you essentially stick up your middle finger as if flipping someone off and raise it upwards. Younger brother is the same, only down. To say siblings, it's both combined, one on each hand, and it looks like you're aggressively giving someone the bird. People making phonetic jokes in sign that most deaf people wouldn't understand. Most hearing people won't understand deaf jokes, but here's one that anyone will understand. A Mayfair Don demanded to see a deaf person and had him plonked in front of the Don. The Don demanded, "Where is my money?" The deaf man just signed deaf. May fear Don. Interpreter. Now, an interpreter was duly found. Now the Don told the interpreter, you ask him, where is my money? Interpreter relays this to the deaf man. Deaf man replies, I don't know. I don't know. Interpreter tells this to the Don. Don gets angry and screams, if you don't tell me, I'll shoot you. You tell him. Interpreter tells this to the deaf person. If you don't tell him, he'll shoot you. Deaf man then says, okay, the money's under my mattress. Interpreter says to the Don, he still says he doesn't know. My interpreter mates especially love this joke. Both my parents are deaf, and growing up we always said play it by eye, rather than play it by ear. I always used that phrase up until college, when a friend corrected me, and let me know what hearing people say. Make sure to like and subscribe for more daily content. Thanks for watching.